Good morning.
Morning, Gregory.
How's everybody? Good. So why are you here? I sent out an invitation and you just show up? Is that how it works? To think? Any other answers, thoughts? To see me? Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. It's been a while. So, the think tank, 3M for about a year or a year and a half, e-transformation has been around in our company. E-transformation sits in the center of 3M, and we're organized around 5 pillars: e-commerce, operational excellence, content, engagement, and what's that last one, Tim? Customer experience. There you go. But really, social kind of blends through all of that. So we work really closely with all of our partners in the e-transformation team. Many of you are here today. And we've found that social can be a way to sort of weave that fabric of engagement and interaction with the customer throughout everything we do. So the think tank is sort of mirrored off of the idea of traditional 3M collaboration. We have, for many years, had marketing forums, we've had tech forums, and we grew this think tank out of the idea of sharing and collaborating around those great digital ideas that our global partners could take advantage of, and that we in the center could take advantage of by learning from each other, learning best practices, sharing tips and tricks. It's been pretty successful. But it was time to open it up. So collaboration in a vacuum is nothing. We needed the outside participation. We needed you. We have over 100 outsiders here today, and we're represented by over 55 brands, which I think is pretty amazing. And so I really thank you for coming. I mean, that's awesome. So we are actually here at 3M to learn from you. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your questions. We want to understand what you're thinking about and what you think is coming up next in digital engagement, because that helps us, that helps you, and we're all here along that crazy journey together. So what do you hope to get out of today? Don't everyone jump up at once. Inspiration. Thank you, Brian. Was that in your book? The next one, okay.
A silver bullet.
The silver bullet. Did someone bring the silver bullet? I don't seem to have that on me today. Oh, you forgot it? Okay. Anything else? Interaction.
Good ideas I can
Shamelessly copy. Because you're going to. Well, you know, I admire the forthrightness of that idea. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Anna, what's that? Empathy. I'm not a certified therapist, I'm sorry. I wish I could be. Anything else? In the 1970s, there was a group of children in Nicaragua, and they had a really hard time understanding Spanish. They also had a hard time understanding how to lip read, and they started to develop their own communication among each other. And it became known as Nicaraguan Sign Language. Actually, they created their own language. And if you look at today, if you look at digital today, there are a lot of similarities with how children and how the younger generation of millennials are actually engaging. You know, LOL didn't exist 15 years ago. The way you hashtag, the way you tweet, it didn't exist. It's a whole new form of communication. And as brands, it's important for us to look at those evolutions and look at where we're headed so we can take advantage of it and still maintain that relevance to the customer. So what I would ask you today is to think about how you can open your mind to new ideas. You want to be able to not think about, oh, my business can't do that. that's not going to work in our org structure. Or that so-and-so in my communications team, they take every idea and just push it away. Think about what's possible. Don't think about what's not possible. And then hopefully, my hope is that you will find something today that you can take back as a goal, as a nugget of inspiration, that you can move the needle in your own business. So that's my hope for you. And with that, I'll pass it on to Tim.
Morning, everybody. I'm Tim McElroy. I'm fortunate enough to be a part of our customer online engagement team here at 3M, also part of Global e-Transformation. So just one quick administrative note. If you want to talk or interact, what will help for everybody who's online, and this is being broadcast around the world, so you're the live studio audience here at 3M. But what we ask you that you do is there's a button with your microphone right in front. If you just press that, that would be awesome. Thank you. It's a great honor to be hosting the event today. I am so anxious to learn and to engage with everybody here on your best practices. And what I'm about to do for the next 15 to 20 minutes is really just take you on a small journey, a journey that we started here at 3M, as Greg alluded to, about 1.5 years ago. And the journey really begins with something that's new, that's fresh, that occurred with our new CEO, Inga Tulin, and the vision that we have here at 3M. And there's 3 tenets to that. The first is 3M technology advancing every company, 3M products that enhance every home, and the last one is 3M innovation that improves every life. And so if you think about that and how that's going to encapsulate what we're doing through our journey, it begins to create an understanding, a learning, bits of inspiration for every single one of us to do the best that we possibly can when we're talking, engaging with our customers. Our journey began well before 1925, but an interesting thing occurred in 1925. You see a picture of Dick Drew right there. Dick was an inventor here at 3M, and he was out at one of the body shops, and he was showing them their new wet, dry sandpaper, and he was showing them how to work it, to see it, but he kept noticing that some of the guys in the back were trying to do two-tone paint, if you could imagine, right? And they weren't doing it very well. As a matter of fact, every time they removed the tape, that particular paint then ran. There was never really a good line for them at all. It didn't really show up well. So on his way back, after visiting with the customer, he kept thinking, I know that we have a product that can probably help them with that. There's something in our lab. There has to be. And sure enough, a few weeks later, he developed our 3M masking, our Scotch masking tape. So that began the new roaring 20s of two-tone painted cars. And again, what happened there? Why did that occur? He was inspired by our customers. He heard from them, not only at the body shop, but the body shop was conveying back to them what happened. Today, we connect our technology to our customers across the globe. Later on, you're going to participate in our World of Innovation tour. Part of our journey is that we want to walk with our customers in explaining those 46 core technologies that we have here at 3M. We want to show them what we have available. We want to get their input. So we have these technology centers across the globe in every region where we can do that. So we're still getting that data today. We're still talking with them, conversing with them. But what's next? Where do we go from here? We're good at that face-to-face, toe-to-toe interaction. But one of the things that we understand now, and that's why we're here, is this digital world is incredible. We have so much information at our fingertips that we can use to help provide those insights, to help provide the engagement that we want, to know exactly what the customer is looking for. Here's a couple of recent examples that I want to share with you. The first one on your left depicts Apple device. And what we're really talking about here is our 3M Cloud Library app. And what we've done with that just recently is we've used the accessibility feature in iOS, and what we've done is we created the app to be a native reader for those who are visually impaired. So they use the accessibility feature found in iOS. They can use this. The app itself, 3M Cloud Library, is used to check out ebooks from your local library here in the US. It's going to be launched globally bit by bit, but currently it's just in the US. So now visually impaired people can use the functionality of an e-reader and an ebook. And if they don't want to listen all the time, they built in the feature so that you can use the Bluetooth technology for a wireless Braille reader. The other example up there is our 3M LED light. Now think about it, the light bulb's been around for a long, long time, and we've tried to become more and more energy efficient. As a consumer, I am worried about that. I want to protect our environment. I know that I do. I'm sure all of you want that same thing. So CFL's compact fluorescent lamps are good, but they do have minute traces of mercury. It takes a while for them to actually warm up to the light that we want, and you can't dim them. LED technology is really good, instant on, but it's very directional. So what do? We take one of our highly reflective films, something that you will see as well, and we incorporate that in the technology so that not only now do you have an instant on light, but it's omnidirectional, multi-directional. So these are insights, these are customer interactions that we're gathering through our contact with our customers, what we view online, what we see in forums and technical blogs. We're gathering that information and using it to improve our lives. We have a long ways to go. And this is why I'm so excited that we have you here. We talked about storytelling last night. We talked about how that's a journey with Susan and Philip, who you'll hear from later on today. And that's what we're on too, this journey. And we have just started to transform 3M in 2013 into this social commercialization process, a templated format where everybody can see the criteria that might be important in what you're doing and how you're getting into social, how you're working with customers, how you're leveraging the knowledge that they have. And so even though it has a template format to it, by no stretch of the imagination is it something that every business is going to use right down, that particular line. That strategy is going to change from every business and market segment that you're going to come across. We just look at 3 particular processes, 3 areas that we really need to focus on to begin with. And this is a high overview of that. Phase 1, really just start to take a look at your brand and what it is as far as how you're going to assess it with your customers. The second thing that's important, and I want to go back to phase 1 in just a moment, or phase 1, social strategy. How do you actually develop your strategic lens? What is it the customer is looking for? What are those things that you're doing to enhance that customer's life, the product that they're going to need for their particular business? And then, of course, measure, optimize, plan, do, check, adjust. It's a constant cycle. And the first piece of that I want to talk about, and the most important, is listening. I have 5 children. I have 2 grandkids now. And it's important that I listen, right? Because there's a lot of activity that goes on. And it's really incredible what we learn as a parent, as an uncle, as an aunt, whatever it might be, what our kids are doing because we're listening. What are we listening for? We're listening for who their friends are, who they're hanging out with, where they're going, where they've been, what do they want for dinner, what do they want for an allowance. There's all kinds of things that we're listening for. The same thing occurs with our customers. Listening is a critical component to developing that whole strategic lens. How else are you going to know? You're just throwing darts otherwise. I know that's what we're going to hear and learn more about today, is what in the current digital world that we have today, what is it that is available for us to be able to do that? And that's what excites me. So after you listen, there's 4 things that you're really going to know. You're going to know then what's the right place. You're going to be able to reach the right audience. Is it in the appropriate tone? Is it in the appropriate volume when I'm about to respond to them? Those are the things that you're going to start to learn. And then finally, what's real and what's relevant to what we're doing. 2 very recent examples that I want to share with you, some case studies who used our social commercialization process. The first one is car wraps. So go back to 1925, right? You can have a 2-tone automobile. Well, now you can have a rainbow of colors on your automobile. You can do whatever you want because your automobile still is a representation of who you are. Some of you like to drive really fast in your automobiles. Some of you like to take sharp corners in your automobiles. But here's what happened. When they initiated this social commercialization process, there's some things that they found out. They found out there's some serious colors that people want that we're currently not manufacturing right now. 4 of which are up there, and then they added a 5th because it was kind of on the fence as to whether or not it's something that they should produce, which was matte pink. And it turned out to be a real good seller. But they heard people talking about it. They weren't quite sure, but you know what? Let's throw this one out there and see. But the rest of these are true customer-directed product. Another example, this occurred in 3M China, water purification. They had some business objectives, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them really quick. The first of which was, how do we really get our water purification systems known in the general community? They felt like they had a lack of interaction with their customers. They weren't really sure as to why people weren't familiar with it. So they wanted to start to really pinpoint where those customers were. And that's exactly what they did through listening. They found out that they weren't necessarily on social property that we might think of, but more microblogs, mini sites that they could actually go to and leverage those strong brand influencers and advocates that they were finding. And what the outcome was is that they also then developed a very social relevant campaign around a very intriguing holiday that they have, which is 11/11, which is what they celebrate as Singles Day. In that one day alone, every 1.5 minutes, they sold a water filtration system, water purification system from 3M in a 24-hour period because they wanted to let the market know, creating an awareness of that particular product based on the research that they did prior to that. So what's next? I've heard inspiration. How do we get inspired to do the next thing? How do we do incredible things so that we can continually engage with our customers? Here's an idea. This is one of the things that we're trying to do here at 3M, is think about how when we go out shopping, who do we refer to? Well, I ask my wife, hey, how does this look on me? What do you think about this car? What do you think if I cut the grass and then trim it this way? I'm always looking for input from people. I want to understand what people are actually saying, what they think of what I'm doing. The same thing applies to what we have with our products for all of us. We want to get some feedback. And so we're going to, globally offer ratings and review across the 3m.com so that we can get the input, we can begin to engage and allow customers to influence other customers, to be inspired by the customers who are using our products. This is a great event. This is a great day because I am all about learning, and I really want all of us to be inspirational today. Let's make learning inspirational, and let's interact as much as we possibly can with each other throughout the day. I'm so excited to have met a lot of you already and look forward to meeting the rest of you throughout today. I'll take a couple of questions if there's any or comments, and then we'll wrap up. Could you, sorry.
I'm just guessing that your Twitter handle is a nickname.
Well, so I was a sergeant in the United States Air Force, and Mac was what I was called. Exactly. Yes, sir. All right, awesome. Welcome, everybody. Thanks again.